All right, so today we're going to dive into ChatGPT and how you can use it to improve your English skills.
Sounds good.
And we know our listeners, you guys are all about learning efficiently, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to bring you like the best tips and tricks from this guide we found.
Awesome.
Like forget about, just basic grammar drills and
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
It's more like having a personal English coach available like 24/7 in your pocket.
Yeah. What I find really interesting about this guide is that it really emphasizes like actually using the language,
Oh, for sure.
instead of just like memorizing rules and words,
Yeah, totally.
which is ultimately the key to fluency, right?
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about conversation practice for a sec.
Okay.
I'm really curious to hear like how ChatGPT can help with that,
Yeah.
especially for people who might get, nervous or intimidated speaking in English.
Yeah, that's a really common challenge. And the guide offers this really cool solution, which is role playing.
Oh, interesting.
Like, imagine you could prep for a job interview in English or practice ordering food at a restaurant, like all without leaving your couch.
That's amazing.
ChatGPT can actually like simulate those conversations and help you build confidence.
I love that. So no more like fumbling for words in real life situations. You can practice until you feel ready.
Exactly.
But, even casual chats can be tricky sometimes.
Right.
How can ChatGPT help with just overall conversational fluency?
Well, think of it as like a really low pressure way to practice different phrases and responses.
Mm-hmm.
You can even experiment with, different conversational styles, like being more formal or informal.
Oh, that's cool.
And the best part is because it's AI, there's no judgment if you mess up.
That's nice.
Right.
It takes the pressure off for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, vocabulary.
Okay.
I'm always trying to learn new words, but sometimes it feels like I'm just memorizing lists and lists of words.
Yeah.
How does ChatGPT make vocabulary building more engaging and effective?
Yeah. Well, the guide really emphasizes going beyond just, simple definitions. So imagine asking for like synonyms, antonyms,
Right.
or even example sentences to like really understand how a word is used in context.
Yeah, that's a good point because then you're actually using it. You're not just,
Definitely.
recognizing it on a page.
Exactly.
What really stood out to me was the idea of like asking for word lists by category.
Oh, yeah.
So say you're really into tech.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT can give you like 10 tech-related words.
Yeah, it's great for tailoring your vocabulary to like your interests or your professional needs.
Exactly.
Like if you're a foodie, you can get culinary terms.
Oh, that's fun.
If you love travel, you can learn all the travel vocabulary.
So it's really personalized.
Yeah, it's like a personalized vocabulary builder.
I like that a lot. Okay, speaking of personalization, the guide also mentions using ChatGPT to improve writing skills.
Right.
Do you think it can really help with grammar and writing well-structured sentences?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like that's something a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, for sure. And ChatGPT can be like your grammar guru.
Yeah.
Checking your writing for errors and suggesting corrections.
Nice.
It can even help you practice different writing styles, like formal versus informal. Oh, wow. Which can be super useful depending on what you're writing.
So it's like having that extra set of eyes on your work that we all wish we had.
Exactly.
But what about when you're stuck on ideas or you're struggling with the overall structure of your writing?
Mm-hmm.
Can ChatGPT help with those higher level writing skills too?
It definitely can't, like you can bounce ideas off of it,
Oh, really?
get help outlining your thoughts, or even ask for prompts to kind of spark your creativity.
So it's like having a brainstorming partner.
Like having a brainstorming partner on demand.
I love it. So it sounds like ChatGPT can be really helpful for anyone who wants to improve their writing,
Yeah,
whether it's for work, school, or just for fun.
for sure.
Okay, so now I'm a total bookworm.
Okay.
But sometimes I get overwhelmed by like really dense or complicated texts.
Yeah, I get that.
Does this guide offer any tips on using ChatGPT for reading comprehension?
It does. There's this fantastic tip.
Okay.
Imagine being able to ask ChatGPT to like summarize a really challenging book or article.
Oh, that would be so helpful.
It's like getting the key takeaways without having to read every single page.
Yeah, especially if you're short on time.
Exactly.
So it's not about replacing reading altogether,
Right.
but it's more about getting a handle on the material first.
Yeah, and then you can decide if you want to dive deeper.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's really helpful for anyone who feels intimidated by, challenging texts.
It can even help with comprehension practice by generating questions about specific passages or chapters.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about speaking vocabulary writing.
Yeah.
What about listening skills?
Okay.
I know ChatGPT doesn't talk yet,
Right.
but can it still be useful for improving listening comprehension?
It can. So while it doesn't actually produce audio directly,
Okay.
the guy has some clever workarounds.
Interesting.
So imagine asking ChatGPT to generate dialogues that simulate real-life conversations. And then you can use a text-to-speech tool
Right.
to hear those conversations spoken aloud.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
So you're creating your own personalized listening practice.
exactly. And you
Yeah.
can tailor it to whatever situations you want to get better at understanding.
Could you give me like a specific example?
Yeah, sure. So let's say you're planning a trip to a new country.
Okay.
You could ask ChatGPT to generate dialogues about, common travel situations,
Like what?
like asking for directions or ordering food.
Oh, that's practical.
Right. And then you can practice listening to those conversations using text-to-speech.
I love that that's such a good way to prepare for real-world scenarios.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be just for travel.
Huh?
You could create dialogues for anything you want to practice,
Right.
from business meetings to, just casual chats with friends.
For sure. And don't forget about things like song lyrics,
Oh, yeah.
movie scripts, or even speeches. You can ask ChatGPT to provide those texts and then use text-to-speech to practice listening.
And you can pick up on different accents and speaking styles.
Exactly.
Speaking of tricky things, idioms and phrasal verbs are like my nemesis.
Oh, yeah, those can be tough.
They trip me up all the time.
Ooh.
Does this guide offer any solutions for mastering those?
It does. ChatGPT can really help you understand the nuances of those expressions. It's like finally understanding the difference between look up and look up to.
Right.
It can be a game changer.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm always misinterpreting those expressions.
ChatGPT can break down those nuances, give you clear examples, and help you use them correctly.
Oh, that's a relief.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other creative ways to use ChatGPT to practice idioms and phrasal verbs?
Yeah, if you're feeling brave, you could even ask ChatGPT to quiz you on them.
Oh, that's a fun idea.
It's a good way to test your knowledge and see how much you've learned.
You could even turn it into a game with friends.
Exactly.
Now, what about pronunciation?
Okay.
I know ChatGPT can't hear me speak,
Right.
but can it offer any help in that area?
Well, while it's not a perfect solution, it can provide a good starting point.
Okay.
So imagine asking for phonetic transcriptions of difficult words so you can understand how they should be pronounced.
Okay.
And then you can practice saying those words aloud and compare yourself to, native speakers online.
So it's a way to get a grasp on the basic sounds and then refine your pronunciation through practice.
Exactly.
What are some good online resources for comparing your pronunciation to native speakers?
There are tons of options out there.
Like what?
You can look for pronunciation videos on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Use language learning apps that have audio features.
Right.
Or even find online communities where you can practice speaking with native speakers.
It's amazing how many resources there are now. Okay, so speaking of resources,
Yeah.
what about using ChatGPT to create a personalized study plan?
That's a key point that the guide emphasizes.
Because I feel like that's where its personal tutor aspect really shines.
Absolutely. Imagine using ChatGPT to create daily schedules or even a 30-day plan. Wow.
Tailored to your specific goals and preferences.
So you have your English learning goals, and then you have this tool that can actually help you create a roadmap to achieve them.
Exactly.
So that's awesome.
It's like having a personal coach who understands your strengths and weaknesses.
Right.
And can provide customized guidance.
And let's be honest, staying consistent with language practice is tough.
It is.
Having a personalized plan can really help with motivation and accountability.
For sure.
Okay, before we move on, we have to talk about the fun factor.
Okay.
The guide mentions using ChatGPT for language games.
Yes.
And I am all about making learning fun.
Me too.
So what are some examples of games you can play with ChatGPT?
Oh, there's so many possibilities.
Okay.
You could play word guessing games, vocabulary challenges,
Oh.
or even do some collaborative story building with ChatGPT.
I love that idea. Collaborative storytelling.
Yeah.
Sounds really fun.
It's a fun way to get creative and practice using new words and grammar in a more engaging way. Yeah, it's like having a writing partner.
It is. It's like having a writing partner who always comes up with these unexpected twists and turns.
That's awesome.
And because ChatGPT is constantly learning, you never know what kind of crazy stories you'll end up creating together.
That sounds like a blast. And it's a
Yeah.
good reminder that, learning a language doesn't have to be all drills and textbooks.
Exactly.
It's about finding ways to make it enjoyable so
Yeah.
you're more likely to stick with it.
Right.
But, games can be fun.
Mm-hmm.
But do they actually lead to, lasting learning?
That's a great question.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I think games can be a really powerful tool for learning, especially when they're designed to reinforce specific skills and concepts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's important to think of them as like one piece of the puzzle.
Right, not the whole picture.
Exactly. You still need to put in the effort to learn the fundamentals
Right.
and practice those skills in different contexts.
Of course.
But games can be a fantastic way to make that practice more engaging and enjoyable. For sure.
And they can help you apply your knowledge in a more creative and spontaneous way.
I love that perspective. It's all about finding that balance,
Yeah.
between having fun and making sure you're actually learning and retaining the information.
Exactly. And that's where the guide offers some really valuable insights on choosing the right games
Okay.
and using them strategically to enhance your learning journey.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
From conversation practice and vocabulary building to reading comprehension and even pronunciation.
Yeah.
We've explored a wide range of ways you can use ChatGPT to boost your English skills,
For sure.
but this is just the beginning.
There's so much more to discover.
Oh, I'm excited.
In the next part, we'll delve deeper into some of the more advanced features of ChatGPT
Okay.
and how you can use them to really take your English to the next level.
That sounds awesome, and we'll also explore some of the broader implications of AI for the future of language learning.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time to be a language learner. It is.
With so many incredible tools and resources available to us.
It's true. All right, so stay tuned for more insights, tips, and inspiration.
Absolutely. Welcome back. You guys ready to dive into some more advanced techniques?
Oh, yeah. Definitely in the last part, we talked about all the basics like conversation practice, the vocabulary pronunciation.
Right, right.
But I feel like there's so much more to explore.
Absolutely. There is, for instance, have you ever wished you had like a personalized feedback system for your writing?
Oh, totally.
Like a built-in editor who could, analyze your style and suggest improvements?
Oh my gosh, all the time. I'm always looking for ways to make my writing more impactful and engaging,
Right.
but finding someone to give you details feedback can be so tricky.
It can be. Yeah, and that's where ChatGPT's analytical capabilities can really come in handy.
Oh, interesting.
So imagine asking it to not only correct your grammar errors,
Yeah.
but also assess things like your sentence structure, your vocabulary choices, and even your overall tone.
Wow, that would be a game changer.
Oh,
It's like having a professional writing coach right in your pocket.
exactly.
So what kind of feedback could you expect?
Well, I can point out areas where your writing might be repetitive or unclear,
Okay.
suggest stronger verbs or more descriptive adjectives,
Right.
and even help you tailor your tone to your target audience.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I can see how that would be helpful for anyone who wants to improve their writing,
definitely.
whether it's for work, school, or just personal stuff.
For sure. And it goes beyond just improving individual pieces of writing, too.
Oh, really?
ChatGPT can actually help you develop your overall writing style and voice.
Okay, now that's what I call leveling up.
Right.
Could you give us like a specific example of how you might use it for that?
Sure. Let's say you're working on a blog post
Okay.
and you want to make sure it's engaging and easy to read. You could ask ChatGPT to analyze your writing and suggest ways to make it more concise or conversational or even humorous.
I love that because sometimes I get stuck in a rut with my writing style. It would be so helpful to have that kind of guidance.
It can be. And the best part is you can experiment with different styles and see what works best for you.
That's so cool. Okay, so speaking of experimenting, I'm really intrigued by the idea of using ChatGPT for creative writing.
Oh, yeah.
I've always wanted to write a short story or even a novel,
Cool.
but I always struggle with coming up with ideas and developing characters.
Yeah, that's a common challenge.
Can ChatGPT help with that?
It can, so imagine asking it to generate story prompts
Wow.
or character ideas or even help you brainstorm plot twists.
That would be incredible. It's like having a virtual brainstorming partner.
Exactly. And it can even help you develop your characters more fully
Really?
by providing insights into their motivations, their backstories, and even their relationships.
So it's taking creative writing to a whole new level.
It really is. It's like having a partner who can help you flesh out your ideas and bring your stories to life.
It's remarkable, and I think it speaks to the broader potential of AI to make creative expression more accessible to everyone.
Absolutely. It's no longer about having a certain level of talent or experience. It's about having the tools and the imagination to bring your ideas to life.
I love that. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about research.
Okay.
As someone who loves to learn new things, I'm always doing research online,
Yeah.
but it can be so overwhelming trying to sift through all the information out there.
It can feel like you're drowning in a sea of information.
Exactly, and it's hard to know what's reliable and what's relevant.